Hello, I'm Freddy Andrej, and I welcome you to the interview with John Fedchock of a series of interviews about my new CD, Home is Where Your Bone Is. During the corona pandemic in 2020 and 2021, I recorded a CD with my friends and colleagues John Fedchock, Felix Fromm, and Bill Reichenbach. After 1 year of work, the CD will be released in early December this year and is available for pre-order in my online shop on www.freddyandrej.com. Please see the link in the description. The interviews are sometimes on a very personal level. We discuss how this project started, how it was working together in a project like this, recording in general, and many other things. I hope you enjoyed the interview and please stay tuned for the upcoming interviews. Thank you.
I want to start on how we first met.
Sure, okay, we can talk about that, yeah.
That was in Mannheim. We were giving a masterclass in January 2020.
Yeah.
We are talking about intonation, blending, articulation, soloing, and I was really enjoying what you said back then. And we had a very big pizza for lunch.
Yeah. Well, that was that in Mannheim? That was in Mannheim, right?
That was in Mannheim, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the evening, we were at a pub where you could tap the beer yourself.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, and that was also nice. And that was also directly before the pandemic started.
Yeah, well, actually the pandemic had already kind of started in Europe, because it was on the TV, on the news, and I had never even heard about it. So it was a big surprise to me.
Yeah.
So coming back to New York, a few months later when it hit New York, it was I was surprised that I didn't catch something when I was in Europe, because I was there for almost 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then directly following that, I was on a cruise ship for a week.
Yeah.
Right up until March. So it was surprising I didn't get it, but I'm happy I did not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit, and I told you about my plans to go to LA or move to LA, and then you said, okay, but you should check out New York as well, and you invited me to your party in October 2020.
Yeah.
But we know that didn't happen, the party, because of the pandemic.
Right.
It happened, but I couldn't come anyway.
No, it didn't happen. We could not have people. But we have an annual party, which we haven't had now in 2 years. But it would have been perfect for you because it's an Oktoberfest party. So we call it Fedchocktoberfest. Mm-hmm. So last year or 2 years ago, we had about 70 people here. So it was a great party. A lot of great musicians hanging out, and we had a really fun time. So I'm hoping that we can do one in 2022. We've had to miss 2 years in a row now, but yeah. So hopefully you can make that one.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I got the information that we can travel to the States again.
Okay.
If you are vaccinated 2 times,
Mm-hmm.
Then it should be quite easy to go to the States.
Yeah, I'm hoping in the next few weeks I can get my third, the booster.
Oh, the third one. Okay.
Yeah, so then I'll be extra safe, because I'm hoping that 2022 will be more traveling and things opening up more. Right now it's still pretty tight here in New York, so to do what I need to do, I need to travel. So being on airplanes and in airports, and especially in small clubs, it's important that I'm safe.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, also here in Germany, it's in September. It's better to work
Yeah.
There are some concerts outside, and this isn't a problem at all. We have
Right.
to look that there's enough space between everyone and
Yeah.
between the audience and the band, and the audience itself has to be split up.
Yeah.
But on events in the inside, it still depends on the state where you live and
Right.
what the manager says. Okay, maybe the state says, okay, it's a bit more free, but okay, he wants it like that. We don't, when I play with a marching band, we are when we are playing inside, we are not allowed to move.
Okay. Okay.
In one place.
A non-marching band.
not marching band,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but back to your party in 2020. At that time, I had always the date in my calendar, and then I was always thinking of it. And I wrote you about that time. I told you the first time about my idea of the project, but that had already started a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
I asked you to take part in it, and your answer was simple and clear. And you said, "Freddy, I would be happy to take part in your project." And I was really happy then.
Yeah.
What did you think about my project when you heard of it?
Well, when you first contacted me, I wasn't really sure how much I would be involved. I thought maybe just play a solo on one song or something like that. So, because you just sent me the one track, and so I just thought it was just one tune on the album to feature myself. But then it kind of turned into being on the entire album for the most part, and it was a nice thing to have to work on here, because we were shut down, and it was work was minimal, and most of the work I was doing was online and virtual, so it was nice to get involved recording from my home. And my wife did a project during the same time, so we recorded during the pandemic too. So it was good timing, because I'd already worked on my setup and getting things so I could record and also teach remotely with the right microphones and all the things you would need to do it right, so it sounded good. So when you contacted me about that, I was kind of ready to go for those types of things, which several more of those things came in during that time, where I would be recording one or two tunes for people, either for a demo or for actual albums. So I'm glad it all worked out, and everybody in your project was able to record things sufficiently for your purposes, because you can only do so much in the studio to make bad audio sound better. So I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, Felix and I had hard time starting here, because we had no idea of this whole thing. How to record at home. Felix was playing the studio a lot of times. I'm younger and I didn't work so much in the studio yet, but I did, and but I didn't record at home at all. Just when a friend asked me to play a track, record the track for his project, and I said, "Oh, that was fun. I can do an own project." And it turned out that it got much bigger than I thought at the beginning.
Right. I know. I remember at the beginning, it was just, for you, it was just kind of something you wanted to try out, and then it turned into this big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was coming on me then. Yeah.
but I think it came out really nice. Your engineer did a great job mixing it, and everybody played really well. So I think it's going to be a really nice project.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I think so too. Did you listen to the final mix that I sent a couple of days ago?
Yeah, I've only listened to about half of that, but it really sounds good. Yeah.
It's again on a different level than before.
Yeah.
Some things sound much better, smoother, more natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. That was a hard thing to do because we weren't recording in one room, but we had to get a sound together.
Yeah.
But I think it turned out good because yeah, you said the playing was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we could fit it together.
The biggest trick with remote recording is because you're not in the same room, you can't feel the person next to you's phrasing, you know. So in my experience, when you're mixing those types of projects, there's little things that you would normally do automatically being in the same room with a person that you have to do electronically, like cutoffs or just little things about timing of things that you would normally, if you were sitting next to someone, everyone would just feel the music together. It's a little bit different, especially when you're recording one part at a time. You have to really focus in on time and tempo and time feel, and whoever's playing the first part, you need to be really dialed into their phrasing and where they tend to cut things off and what they do with long notes. All those things make a big difference in making the group sound like they're playing together.
Yeah, yeah. That was pretty hard. And
yeah.
Also, the arrangements were on the easiest ones. They were also were pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of those, you know, not only required practice, but required a lot of practice just to be able to get through it, and that's different than recording it too. You know, when you're recording something really difficult, sometimes it's almost harder to record it than to just play it because, you know, the red light is on, and you know there's no margin for error. So it makes it a little more. I don't want to say stressful, but a little more urgent to play it correctly when you're recording. And if you're just playing it to play it, you're a little more carefree about it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. When we started with the first tune, it was "Get Me to the Church on Time."
Yeah.
I was really nervous when I pressed the record button. I said, "Okay, now I have to do it right." But after a while, when we got to the last 2 or 3 tunes, I somehow managed over the months of recording at home nearly every day, because I was never satisfied with what I did, and I always had a chance to maybe redo something.
Right.
And then I noticed how that if I stay cool, everything is much easier, and I'm twice as fast or even faster.
Exactly.
I just have to stay cool and play it and be relaxed, and okay, where's the beat, and that's it, and then just play it cool, and it's cool. Yeah, and at the end I was so much faster than at the beginning.
Yeah, and the more you do it, the easier it will be. The other thing is, really, when you're recording, is just knowing what you need to hear in your headphones when you're playing. Sometimes you think all you need to hear is the click, or if you need to hear everybody, but sometimes less is more. You know, if you bring everything down to the point where nothing's kind of getting in your way, where you can feel everybody, but you don't feel like you have to push too much. A lot of times that helps too.
Yeah, sometimes I turned up the click track very loud, and then I noticed it doesn't help. But when I turned it down, then it helped me.
Yeah.
somehow I had to concentrate a little bit more on it, but the other things were also could hear them better. And
Yeah, because in general, nobody really plays like a metronome, right? So if you're trying to play with other musicians, it's going to move a little on either side, and if you have the click too loud, you're not going to go with the phrasing of the group. So I think that was a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got your first track back, I think it took me quite some time to send you the first tune to record.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to send it to you in November, but I think it was in the middle or end of December. But I got it back actually, I think 3 days later. And I was really impressed by the speed that you did that, and also the quality of the recording. And I really liked your sound, and especially the articulation. And I could listen to you solo.
Okay, well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, what I did, I always listened to your soloing and to your articulation, because I was never satisfied with my articulation. And now, since I find it absolutely amazing,
Oh,
how
thanks.
it sounds, I was working on that since December, and now I also, when I record, I like much better what I do.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've always been a firm believer that you can, especially when you're improvising, you can come up with a lot of great ideas, but it's really the articulation that gives your playing personality.
Yeah.
And everybody has a little different way to do it. So I think focusing on that really helps, at least it helps me to bring more of what I'm feeling out into music, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's also, I like playing ballads, and when I play a ballad, and now with the new articulation, the note starts at the point I want to start. I can adjust the sound. It sounds how I want. I'm so much more free if I play around, make a little lick in a melody or something. Because I know, oh yeah, it's working and it comes out as I want. And that's, I think I only could get it because I was listening to you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, I didn't ask you how you did it, but I just listened to it over and over, and found out how
Sometimes that's better, because I could tell you how I do it, but everybody's face and tongue and teeth and everything. So better for you to find a way to get the same sound that's comfortable for you, because everybody's not the same. And I think that's the great thing about jazz, is that it's been kind of there's this oral history where from way back people would just go listen to other players and try and figure out their version of what they were doing, and that helped to bring the music along and let it evolve over time.
Yeah.
Were you also at the Würzburg masterclass I did, or
no,
just?
I only was in Mannheim.
Only Mannheim. Yeah.
But Felix was at both of them.
Yes, of course.
Teaching on both schools. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you also heard that my articulation changed from the beginning to the end.
Yes, I did. I noticed, and I would guess. I'm only guessing, but part of that also might be from listening to Bill's tracks as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Not only from you, but how I want the articulation to sound, but I also listen to Bill solo and listen what he does and how he is doing things.
Yeah. I mean, because everything's different depending on register too. And when he plays in the lower register, it has something that you probably took from too. So that's very cool.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, but I especially wanted to mention the articulation from you. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also talked to Bill, I think 1 week ago, and we also talked a little bit about that I could listen to him solo and could learn from him. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's a fantastic player.
yeah, and you also uh, you both gave me tips on how to work on these kind of projects, how to record. How to prepare the files and everything, and I think that brought the whole thing to another level.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, especially if it's the first time you've done something like this, there are little things that you probably were unaware of that are now are just like obvious to you probably after having to do it over the past several months. So yeah, it's a learning process dealing in the studio, but doing it in this way, it's probably actually more comfortable because you can do it in your own time, at your own pace, and you can kind of hear two different versions, the before and after. Whereas if you're playing a studio recording, you go in and record, and it's up to the people who do the mixing and the engineering and all that stuff. But now everyone's doing it at home. You can more obviously see what little changes can do to make things sound so much better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I also let's go back to the playing again. I could also then compare my part, what I played to your parts and to Felix's part and to Bill's part, and then I could look, okay, you have more experience than I. Could look, okay, how can I sound like you? Or
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's kind of a luxury now that everybody has this technology, because you can, whoever's playing the lead part, and then if you're playing the bass trombone part, you could take everybody out and just listen to those two parts and see how well you're following the lead player.
yeah,
So it's a really great tool.
yeah. Yeah, now let's talk a little bit about about the title of the CD, Home is Where Your Bone Is. So back at the start of the pandemic, I moved back to my parents because I didn't have any work or money,
Right.
and I could live at their house and work in the basement the whole day, practicing trombone, studying trombone.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors don't care here. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I have some fresh air outside. There's vineyards, and you can go to the forest in half an hour. So
Nice.
it was a bad situation, but the pandemic and the jobs, but at least I had some fresh air and could study.
Sure. Yeah.
Then I composed a tune named Home is Where Your Bone Is. And that means that no matter where I am, I'm home where my trombone is. So,
Yeah. I think most musicians feel that way too. You know, you live with these instruments for so long and spend so much time with them. It's really become such a deep part of your life that really is home when you're with your instrument. Yeah.
Yeah. And you wrote a fantastic arrangement.
Oh, thanks. Now, when you approached me about writing something for the project, you gave me several titles, some existing tunes, and but when you sent me your tune, it immediately gave me ideas about what I could do with the group. Yeah, because not only because it's a nice song, but it has some length to it. It's got long notes, so you can pull out the sonorities in the band, and it didn't feel like, a lot of standard songs and things. When it first comes to mind, you think about another version with a rhythm section and a bass player and a drummer, piano player. But this basically was just a lead sheet that you had sent. You did send me a recording that I listened to very briefly because I didn't want to get too caught up in your version. But when I was looking at the lead sheet, I was kind of hearing your band rather than hearing somebody else's group that had recorded the song before. So that, when you asked me what I would prefer to do, I jumped on that because I thought there was opportunities, and you had given me a little direction as to what you wanted to happen, ballad, trading off between you and Bill, and then a double time section in the middle. So I kind of had a little bit of a blueprint, and then I worked from there. So it was a little easier than approaching something that I had already heard many times in many versions. And so I was happy that you were happy with the outcome.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I talked to Bill with it about it, and
Yeah.
he also thinks that's a fantastic arrangement.
Oh, great.
Up there, and yeah, Felix also likes it, and my parents like it.
Oh, great. It's a pretty song. It's a pretty song.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like how the instruments are changing, the bass trombones, how the players feel and are changing, and and you picked out some in the backing. You picked out some things from the melody and made it as a backing for the melody.
Yes, yeah.
And that's really nice.
Good, good. Yeah, that's one thing I stress to all my writing students is, if you don't know what to write, go back to the song, because there's something in there you can use that will make everything stronger. So, and I also think it's important because it's an original song of yours and no one's ever heard it before, that you need to reinforce all those little themes and ideas so it sounds familiar to people when they listen to it. Even from the introduction, by the time the introduction is done, you have an idea of what the song is a little bit. So I try to do that with songs, originals of mine, or songs that people haven't heard before, is really try and take part of the tune and reinforce that throughout the arrangement. And I think it really worked well for your tune.
Yeah, you really got the spirit, what I want to say with the tune.
Awesome.
And really nice to listen to. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Another question to the arrangements. What do you think of the arrangements of the CD in general?
In general, well, overall, I think they're all fantastic. I don't want to comment on my own pieces, but I think everybody else did a wonderful job, and what I really like about it is they're all very different from one another. But because of the personnel of the group and the blend of the band, it still sounds like, they all kind of stick together for the project. Many times when you hire a lot of different people to write for a project, many times the project can kind of become schizophrenic, you know what I mean? Things sound too different. But in this case, I think mainly due to the personnel and the blend we came up with, everything really works well with each other, and there's a nice variety of things. From Bill's writing to Bob's charts and all the others. They really all offer something a little bit different, which really helps to carry you through the whole album with interest.
Yeah, I think so too. And also when I thought about the arrangers who could arrange, I asked my favorite arrangers. And I also had specific ideas for the arranger. So I offered Bob other tunes than I offered you.
Right.
Yeah. So or I asked to do those two tunes, and he said, "Okay, I can do that."
Yeah.
To you, I sent a couple of other tunes to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end I came together with tunes that match the personality of the arranger, but also match the whole tracks of the CD.
Yeah, and it worked out that everything kind of had different tempo, different feel, different, everything, takes you kind of on a little journey through all the variations you could deal with with a group like this. Yeah.
Yeah, the group, you already talked a bit about it. What do you think that we played the 5-part arrangements only with 4 players?
Well, that was a challenge because whoever was playing 2 parts had a little bit more of a challenge. For me, when I played the lead parts and the third part in a couple instances, I used 2 different horns and 2 different mouthpieces, so there'd be a little bit of a difference in sound quality and timbre of the instrument. Because I've found in the past, if you use the same instrument, the same mouthpiece, same microphone, everything, it sounds artificial. It sounds overdubbed. But with a different horn, and I used a bigger mouthpiece on a bigger horn, the articulations sound a little different. They're a little more rounded, so it's not exactly the same thing. And I thought it worked well for that type of thing. And for your case, you were playing tuba and tenor trombones, or a bass trombone and tenor trombone. So there wasn't a lot of variation there either.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, did Felix play any of the third parts?
I think Felix played, maybe on the second tune, Tones for Jones Bones.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let me think of it. I think he played on one tune, 2 trombone.
Okay, yeah.
Trombones, but and on the bonus track he played.
On which one?
The bonus track, Lush Life.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah. There he played more than 2. I think he played 2 or 3.
Yeah, that sounds really nice, by the way. That came out really good. I'm glad you're going to include that as a bonus track.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah. When Felix was here recording your tune, Elvin's Empire, and we finished, and he said, "Okay, show me a Lush Life again." And that was the pilot recording that I made, and I was still using GarageBand, like the program that's on the Mac, pre-installed. And then he said, "Oh, doesn't sound so wrong."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." I sent it to the engineer. I deleted all my editings and did a complete new editing. Because when I looked back and saw what I did in the end, editing-wise, and what I did in the very first tune, it was ridiculous. I just went with the original files and did a new editing.
Yeah.
And sent it to the engineer and
let a pro do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mixing. I have no idea about mixing. I think editing is now quite good. But mixing and with reverb and stuff.
Sure. It's very involved, and it's money well spent to have a professional do it the right way.
Yeah, and I know what I want, but I can't do it. So
yeah, the
engineer could say, "Okay, I want it like this," and he said, "Okay," and did a few mouse clicks, and it was done. And I wouldn't have even known how this thing is called, what he just did. Yeah.
And Elvin's Empire, you were talking about Elvin's Empire.
Yeah.
That was a tune I wrote many years ago for my sextet. And we had played that for a while. And I decided to do a big band arrangement of it, which I sent to you. It was written basically shortly, it was composed shortly after Elvin Jones passed away. It was dedicated to Elvin Jones. So I did another version with my big band, and then my sextet recorded it. But when you asked about me writing something original for the group or using one of my tunes, a lot of my stuff involves either extended harmonies or requires a rhythm section or, you know, things that didn't quite feel right. But when I started going through all my tunes, that was the one that kind of spoke to me as being something that would be, number one, different than what you have on your album, and number two, a kind of a tune that would set a tone, kind of similar to your tune. It sets a tone right away that invokes something. And interestingly enough, it's dedicated to a drummer, and there's no drummer in your group. So I thought that was also kind of a neat thing, is you know, doing a tune dedicated to a drummer, and you don't include the drummer, so you have to imagine him playing it with the group. You know, rather than having another drummer pretend to be Elvin Jones, you can kind of just let the listener add Elvin Jones to the sound.
Yeah, that's totally cool, and I really like the tune. And when I first listened to it, I thought, okay, that has to be on the CD.
Yeah.
But exactly what was that kind of tune was missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the melody. I like the solos. I was looking forward what you do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not one of my more elaborate arrangements, but I think it leads well into your solo, and then coming out of it, the ensemble stuff is, you know, it just all seems to work well within the context of the tone that the song has set.
Yeah. Oh, I'm also very happy that I could play a solo there.
Yeah.
And I think also there was enough space in the backing tracks that what I also wanted to mention in Home is Where You're Born is there's also the bass trombone solos, but there's space, and you can play and you can be heard.
Yeah, that's a challenge when you're writing this type of arrangement, because there is no piano. The only instruments that do any background things are the same instrument as the soloing instrument. So you have to deal with the sonic space. You know, I tried to, especially on your tune, I tried to keep the backing tracks kind of out of the lower range, because you were soloing on bass trombone, you know, and so because especially on a tune nobody knows, like your tune, or mine that's not known as well, you do have to give the listener some of the harmony, otherwise they're going to be lost. You know, you can't just play with tuba playing a bass line for the whole thing. You need some of those colors that really define the song. So fortunately, I'm a trombone player, and I've been writing for trombones for a long time. So I kind of have a feel for what works, what's too much space, what is not enough space, and what techniques to use for background material with trombones for a trombone solo that won't get in the way. And I think I was successful on both of those. So
Yeah. Thank you for the great arrangements.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I think people will be happy to listen to your arrangements. Yeah.
Good.
Also in Elvin's Empire, in the last part after the solo and when it goes to the end, and the trombones are interacting, but in this kind of interacting, the tuba is also interacting and stuff, and leading to a point where everything is coming together.
Yeah.
And that's really nice.
Yeah, I thought that would be cool. And, you know, I was going to mention it to you, but you did it with your engineer, was, you know, I have two people doing a moving thing and the other people playing the...
Yeah.
And I was going to mention, make sure to mix so those two people are here and these two people are here. So and then and you did that. So it worked out really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, especially on this place, we had really had to go into detail blending and how the level of volume is, that everything is you can hear everything clearly, but nothing is too loud.
Yeah.
But also the tuba has to yeah, I think that the tuba is kind of leading the ensemble to the next parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next pass. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I thought it would be a good idea for Bill to record his tuba part first, because that, and I love Bill's time feel when he plays, so I thought it would be, we could all just go with that. So Bill played the tuba part, then I played the first trombone part, and then I played the third trombone part after that. So then when I sent all that to you, it was pretty easy for Felix to kind of fit in between first and third part, and for you to kind of fit in between Bill and the third part as well. So that worked out great, I thought.
Yeah. So it was a really nice project, and it is still a really nice project.
Yeah.
Not 100% finished yet.
Yeah, and I saw you got a nice start on your graphics and artwork and all that stuff too. So I don't know if you saw my note. I emailed you my last CD's graphics, just so you could kind of get an idea of how things are laid out. It might give you some ideas. I don't know. But it's the actual PDF of the layout, so you'll have to spin it upside down or sideways to read things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you have a topic you want to talk about that I maybe forgot?
I think we did pretty good. Nothing comes to mind right now. We talked about remote recording. We talked about the players, the writers, the charts. I can't think of anything different.
Maybe one question that I may have forgotten. So we talked about what you thought, what you first thought when you heard from my project. But what was your motivation to take part in it?
I would say my motivation was the fact that you know, after I had met you and Felix in Mannheim, I just got a good feeling about both of you, you know, and I later in my tour I got to hear Felix play. I did a thing in Nuremberg with the Sunday night band there, and Felix was playing in the band, and he sounded wonderful, and he spoke very highly of you. You know, I hadn't heard you play that much, if at all. I can't remember if you played maybe a little bit.
Couple of notes when we...
Couple of notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he spoke highly of you, and I don't know, a lot of times the choices I make are based on, you know, just human reaction, you know, how you gel with a person, and if there's a good chemistry, and they seem like a good person and a straightforward person, and Felix was really, really nice and helpful in helping me set up some part of my tour when I was over there. And you know, when someone does something nice for you, you want to do something nice for them. So and I enjoyed hanging out with you, and it just kind of felt like an easy answer to say yes.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. Yeah, and I also liked it very much with you, and that was also the reason why I asked you. Yeah, because I also felt that we understand each other, and we know how the other, or we think we know how the other guy is, and I had a good feeling about it. And I also didn't ask anyone else. I just I asked Felix, Bill, and you.
Yeah, great.
That's it.
Yeah. It came out wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So
What time is it? What time is it there, Freddie?
it is 10 to 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay. Okay.
About 6
So,
p.m.
time for your first beer?
Yeah. or wine. I have
All right, there you go. Yeah.
here some Riesling.
Okay. Oh, nice.
It's from my village where I live
Okay.
at the moment.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and over there is the vineyard.
Wow. Nice.
Can you
Oh,
see?
wow. Right there. Beautiful.
There's the terrace and the vineyard directly behind.
That's great. Wow. Beautiful.
So I think we are now at the point of the end of the interview over the CD. Two last questions.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for me or for my future?
For your future?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've got a good start already. So the biggest thing I usually advise people that are getting started is don't waste your opportunities. And this album is a great opportunity for you to get your name out there and get your playing out there. It's tough for professionals to go out and hear new people play live. So the more opportunities you have to record and be able to share that with people, it's kind of like a business card where, you know, they can see that you organize the project, that you're playing in the section, you're playing tuba, you're playing bass trombone, you're soloing. All these things can let them know what kind of player you are, and being surrounded by good players helps too, because they'll, you know, people will say, oh well, if these guys will play with him, then he must be okay. So you know, try to take this as far as you can with promotion and all that, because even if it feels like you're not getting something out of it regarding work for the group, you're getting your name out there, and it's advertising for you, not for the project, for you. So think about that too. I mean, there's only so long that CDs will sell, you know, and then it'll drop down, but it's still something that you can promote yourself with. So that's the big thing. I mean, and as far as your playing goes, it sounds like you're doing the right thing by listening to people and trying to learn from them, and I think that's bigger than, you know, countless hours in a practice room. You know, you can only work on so much yourself. You really have to start to see why successful musicians are successful. You know, and part of it is personality and professionalism and all that, but a lot of times there's just little things in their playing that set them apart from other people. And I think if you continue to look for those things, which you're already doing, then you'll become a better player just through, you know, examining what makes good players good.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And now, last thing, please say something nice to the world of trombone players.
To the world of trombone players?
Yeah.
Well, I think trombone is the most beautiful instrument in the world. I was drawn to it at age 9. I didn't want to play anything else, and I still don't play anything else. This is the instrument I love to be with and to play, and it's, to me, the most expressive of all the instruments. So it's really hard to put into words my feelings about playing the trombone, but it really has been my whole life. And other than meeting my wife and getting married, it's the most important thing in my life. So, but you can't get caught up into it too much. You know, it's not the whole world. There's other things, but but to me, it gives me, it grounds what I do. Even if it just means, some people do yoga or meditate, but for me, long tones are my meditation. So there's many things I do on my instrument in my practice that really help me to be a better person. So that it's really a fantastic medium for improving yourself as a person, because it's just a piece of metal, but the more you learn about it and the more you can enjoy it, the more it draws parallels to things in life. For me, improvisation was what brought me to be able to better converse with people, verbally, because I always was a very introverted person. But the more I was able to start to communicate through music, the more I was able to communicate through words. So there's so many different parallels. It's been a really important part of my life.
Yeah. Thank you. Really nice.
Yeah. So when's the big world tour?
The big world tour. Yeah, it's after the CD is being released. By now, everyone want to take part. Bill, Felix, you, and I.
You have to hire another player.
I have to hire another player. Yeah, I'm thinking of already of one. Maybe when we are here, we are playing in Europe. I think of Art here at the moment.
Who is it? Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah.
He's a really good player.
Yeah.
I know him from Amsterdam.
Okay.
He was retiring in the Metropole Orchestra maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
But now he is starting doing small group things.
Oh, great. Well, he's a wonderful player.
Started directly after retiring. He said, okay, now I played in the big ensembles got a long time, and I want to play in a sextet and a trio. Yeah.
Great.
That's what he's doing at the moment, I think.
Yeah, he's also a very, very nice man. That would be fun.
He's very enthusiastic.
Of course, if he's standing next to me, what that's going to look like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I have to ask him, and yeah, it would also be cool if we are also doing a concert in the United States, maybe in New York or in LA.
Yeah, that would be great. You just need to give me a lot of notice if we're going to play either of Bob's charts. He wrote some saxophone lines for trombone, which
I thought he might be sitting at home and say, "Oh, I'm glad that I don't have to play it."
Yeah. Yeah, even just a couple little moments in the well, obviously Ellis Island, it's constant, and then you have to solo, and then you have to go back to that. But the other piece has a couple little moments as well where it's just kind of angular and not necessarily trombone friendly, but I understand why he wrote it. It's very interesting and it's a cool sound for the group too. So, but I'll definitely need to put in some serious practice time to get those two together if you wanted to perform them.
Yeah, I also think Ellis Island. I think we have to practice in the group.
Yeah, because for the group to feel all that together, very tough. Yeah.
Everything has to be really in time and fitting together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your lead part would make sense then.
Yeah.
And we kick you out if that's not cool.
Yeah.
Trombone, cool. The tuba, the other four, if they are not cool. I think it's possible to play.
Yeah.
Over.
But they came out great on the recording.
You
Yeah.
know, I think it should also feel good for you, even if it's hard to play. It should feel good for you to play it.
Yeah.
And I think if it, especially in this tune, if it doesn't feel good when you play it, we shouldn't perform it live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's to be decided, I guess. Yeah.
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 Well, I think the other tunes are, I think we can make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the mere at the end of that, the stuff I have to play, that's a little tricky as well, but I can spend some time on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to remember what we're playing there, but I only have the other line in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that final vamp at the end, right before the, yeah.
Yeah.
So are you doing okay? Everything is okay with you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. You mean in general or with the interview?
Yeah, in general, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
You're back to work. I see on Facebook you're playing every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm not so much on Facebook and Instagram, but I had a gig on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That was nice. Today it's like free, but I was studying.
Yeah.
Um,
And Felix, is he teaching in person now? Is he?
it's now we can teach in person again.
Okay.
He got the job at the HR Big Band now.
I heard that. I did hear about that. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he signed a contract 2 months ago.
Great. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So during last year was he teaching remotely or not teaching at all? What was he doing?
He was teaching remotely, or sometimes I think at some point of time he could teach in person again in universities.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure about that because
Yeah.
I'm not a student anymore.
But the HR band is performing again. They're doing concerts.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of live streams.
Okay.
Whole last year.
Okay.
I think last week or 2 weeks ago they had the first live gig with audience. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
In the HR Sendesaal from the radio station, the concert hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I hope things continue to get better and I can come over again because I had a great time. And that was one disappointing thing about the pandemic is when I came over to Europe, I made so many new friends and it looked like it was going to happen again the next year. And some people in England and Germany and Switzerland. And I thought, well, okay, this could be something I could do again and visit with these folks, and everything got cut short. So I'm hoping that everybody behaves themselves, and that we can keep this under control so we can get back to having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, when I'm thinking of the tour, you mentioned it, of the release tour, I'm thinking of giving workshops in different cities here in Europe. And you can maybe give also a big band workshop, and we play a concert at night and give a trombone workshop today, or like give a home recording workshop. I think the topic will be needed in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
We have to.
And okay, so now you need a paragraph for liner notes, right?
Yeah.
So you just want a bio, or like you had sent me a little biography that you had pulled from my website. Do you want something like that, or a version of that, or
what do you write in your liner notes normally?
Well, normally, I mean, it depends if I write the liner notes or if I hire someone to write liner notes. But if you look at the thing I sent you, I basically just talk about each player a little bit. But if you want more of an extensive biography, I'm not sure how elaborate are you going to have a booklet or are you going to have just, okay.
At least 8 pages.
Oh, okay. That's, yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So out of curiosity, what did Bill send you for that?
Nothing yet.
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah, but he told me that he wanted to send me, it should already be there normally.
Okay.
And Felix also didn't send me something yet.
Okay.
I didn't work on my text. I have a text for me, but I also wanted to orientate it. Maybe
So I didn't know if you were writing text, but if you have that much space and you're going to write text, it might be an idea to have the some biographical information in your text rather than just listing a bio for each person. And then you could just ask each person for like kind of an endorsing quote that they could include either on the album or for promotional purposes too. But I mean, if I like I said, I sent you my last CD graphics. You can look at that, and if you'd like to see more, I can send you more of my other CDs graphics if you want to get an idea. But it's pretty much whatever you want to do, really. So if you want to just put a bio for each player, I've been on albums where they do that as well. And there's, it's only 4 players, so it's not going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah, also I want to have the booklet in 2 languages.
Nice.
German and English.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Germany, but the CD would be everywhere. And therefore I thought of 1 page of the project description in English and on the other side in German.
Yeah. Nice.
I originally thought of a picture of everyone. Of something like this.
Uh-huh.
This is you, and here is maybe a quote of you, like this will be really hard to perform live, or something like that. And then maybe your instrument,
yeah,
your equipment.
Yeah.
I don't think don't need to mention your microphone, maybe.
Right.
But your instrument and your mouthpiece, or what you are endorsed by, can write that there. And then maybe a text in English and a text in German.
Yeah.
But, the graphics designer told me that it might be not enough space. That he also could imagine 2 sides of each player.
Okay.
And so the text could be a little bit longer then.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll work on something, and you can let me know how that changes. Also, I know you said you found a photo that you like for the front of the album, but if you're going to have a different photo on the inside, I could maybe give you some choices for that too.
I could get. Can you send files here? I can. I sent you the first.
Well, you did send me something on my phone that I saw.
Sent you the actual things, the updated. And
you sent me
the.
Where'd it go? Where are you, Freddy? There you are. Oh, come on. Where'd he go? You sent me... Oh, here it is. Yeah, you sent me this. You sent me 3 versions of something that looks like that. Can you see that?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. The
Yeah.
colors are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks really nice.
I sent you another update, and I think we picked a different photo from you.
Okay. Did you send it via email or with a text?
No, I'm sending it here.
Oh, you're sending it now. Okay.
Yeah.
As a text or as an email?
As a text in Zoom.
Okay.
In your computer. Should be there in. Yeah. But now.
To the email or to the text?
To
the cell phone.
But I can send it as an email too.
Oh, wait a minute. I see it. It said you shared something in the meeting, and I couldn't click it. I'm not sure why.
Okay, I sent it in the email.
I didn't click it fast enough, unless it's somewhere that I'm not seeing, where it's attached. It's in the chat, maybe. Oh, here it is. I see it.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can open it, though. I might not be able to open it. Oh, I see it. Okay. So, yeah, that's the same picture.
Oh, that's the same picture already?
That's the same. Yeah, that's the same picture.
Ah, okay.
Which is fine. That's fine. That's totally fine.
In the very first...
oh, it's a different picture of Bill.
Yeah, this is a new picture of Bill now.
Yeah, he's smiling in this one. He wasn't smiling in the other one.
The other one was just from the internet.
Right.
Because it sent me something. That's how it will be. I like the first 2 versions.
Yeah.
I like everything. Number 3 is more classic. I like that too, but I think our arrangements are quite modern, so I think maybe the gray is fitting better.
Yeah.
Or the very last one is also very nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really nice looking recording as well as nice sounding. So that's nice. You got it. It's going to look as professional as it sounds, which is great.
Yeah, and I asked the designer to use special lacquer that you can feel it with your finger, things like that, and use good paper for the digipack.
Yeah. Yeah, now there's one thing I'll have to say about the digipack, because my sextet album came out in digipack. This first one I did with digipack. They use a different kind of, with the booklets normally, sliding into the plastic case. They use a glossy paper, and so the picture is very vibrant. With the digipack, it's cardboard, and the ink soaks into the cardboard, so it's not as vivid as it would be on the glossy paper. So if there's anything you can do to stay on top of that, because on my last album, when you see the graphics I sent you, it's the graphics they sent are much more present and much more detail than on the digipack. So I was a little bit disappointed that some of the detail, especially on the front cover, it's a picture of me from the back, and there's like kind of a smoky, cloudy thing around me, and that didn't come out as well on the digipack because of the detail. So stay on top of that to make sure you get what you want.
Yeah.
It might end up costing you a couple of dollars more to get the right kind of paper that's going to be more glossy.
I want the best paper and best printing, and because we invested so much time in that,
Yeah.
and at the end when I produce maybe 1,000 CDs, if I pay $300 or $400 more at the end, fuck it.
Yeah. I agree. Do it right.
Yeah, do it right. I think we are good players, and we did a great job recording this stuff, and it sounds amazing. So it should also feel and look amazing when you have it in your hands, and feel worthy, and that
Yeah.
you like to get it in your hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool.
Well, I think I'm ready for my first beer of the day.
When we were talking about the release concerts, maybe also in New York or in LA, I don't have so many connections to there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would just depend on getting to organizing that like way in advance, like maybe 6 to 8 months, because especially in New York, they fill their calendar at these clubs very quickly and very much in advance, because they have the choice of anybody in New York to put in their club, and everybody's waiting to play. So the earlier you can contact them, the better. And there are certain places that, like at Birdland, they do a late afternoon, just one set. Like I may go there today to hear somebody play from 5 to 6:15 in the evening, just one set. But for your project, you don't have 2 sets of music anyway, so that would probably be a good choice. And it's a nice setting, so that would be a possibility. And there's some smaller clubs too, and then just some private venues that do live music, or depending on the time of year, there's some outdoor venues that do live music that are pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
So, but once again, you have to be ahead of things at least 5 or 6 months at the minimum.
That's also what I want to do here. I can only plan the concerts when the CD is released, or in my hands. Yeah, maybe it's not released, but I can send it to maybe a person
or radio stations or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, obviously you would want to do the tour there first, because it's going to be released there, and that could be a great thing, just not only to promote the recording, but to promote you for people that don't know you're playing.
Yeah. It would be nice to play with you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It would be fun.
Yeah, I think it will attract a lot of trombone players to come to the concert, and brass players.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be wonderful. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Freddie. Well, good luck with everything else. I'll work on getting you the bio stuff and quote or something, and let me know if there's anything else you need from me. But congratulations on the project, man.
Thank you. Thank you for taking part in it, and for your for supporting me. Yeah, the whole time.
You're welcome.
And I had a lot of questions, and you answered directly, and that meant really a lot to me, and I learned a lot. Yeah.
Sure thing, man. All right. Take care, and I hope to see you sometime soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Right. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.